Okay, good. I don't need that. Yeah. So, everything's up. Hello, welcome. My name is Raider. Welcome to Voice of Storms. And would you kindly... Thanks. So, and after we finished Rivals of Ether and Final Fantasy 15 the last times, we had a new year. I have a new setup. I can play with much more hardware, eating games, and hopefully they don't crash. And today we're gonna stream Angels with Scaly Wings, and a visual novel gifted to me by my buddy Pat. He wanted to gift it to me too, so I have a game where I can experiment more and train more about my voice acting with different characters. Also, he always wanted me to play this game, so let's do us all a favor and do it. Of course, we play with English because I can't read Japanese. And even less Portuguese? Or Brazilian? It's not Brazilian. Well, fuck this, I guess. Also, I have like... Ooh, loud. I have like... loud... I have like... Oh fuck, I think I skipped something. Fuck. I think I skipped something. Okay, but here's the gist. I know little to nothing of that game. Like, at all. You know what, yeah, let's put this in full screen. Okay, good, it's... Had to check if OBS even showed it to me. Okay, audio, music, sound tests, alright, text... Stop skipping. Let's put the auto forward down for now and see how this is developing. But let's put the text speed up. I don't know how fast it will be, but better safe than sorry, I guess. What do you get in? Delete key right here. Okay. Alright, so I hope everything is set up right. Still need to fix the chat on OBS though, I think. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for now, let's start with the game. Detecting user profile. User profile not found. Name, enter your name. Obviously, I hope I just need his first name. Choose a color. Gray, yellow, blue. Do you have cyan? Okay, this is interesting, but I want to go with cyan for now. Does this look right? Ah, okay. It determines the color of my name. Good to know. Good thing I choose cyan. User profile confirmed. Before we start, please review the following informations. Use left click or enter to advance text and select menu options. Press space to advance text only. This is useful to avoid making a selection by mistake. Escape or right click brings up the menu. F toggles full screen. Use the mouse wheel or page up, page down to review past messages and rewind. So I have to use page up and page down because my mouse is shit. Hold Control or press Tab to skip seen messages. S takes a screenshot. Middle click or H hides the text window. If you wish to view this information again, you can do so from the main menu. This will be all. Oh. Bit stuffy nose. The year is 20XX. Oh no! My nose is a bit stuffy, but I have a glass of water to keep my voice soft. Or rather my throat. But for now, let's see where the shit is getting us. The year is 20XX. 20X? 2000X? Only recently has humanity discovered a portal that leads into a different world, populated with a race of intelligent, talking dragons. I was one of the few to travel to this world. But maybe I should start at the beginning. It all began when we discovered a strange device in the middle of nowhere during one of our expeditions. A portal. I've had heard about similar technology before, though that had been more of an experimental level. From what I knew, other portals have been created in the past and were under consideration of mass application. As for this one in particular, though we did not know what had built it, nor when, or why we found it in the wilderness where we did. What was more exciting to us was the fact that it was functional. After our first test, we found there was something else on the other side, who was in the possession of a similar portal, and our attempt at communication through letters were successful. But in the end, the machine extraordinary demanded of power meant we needed to act quickly, as we shouldn't be able to keep the portal open much longer. When we made this known to the other side, we received a very unexpected reply, a letter of invitation. After some deliberation, it was decided to accept their hospitality and send a person to the other side. There was an individual who took that job almost immediately. Oh fuck. I accidentally put the game away. Reza Izquierdo. I hope I read that right. I knew him, or rather had known him. We attended the same school back then, and even had a few classes together. We never really were very close friends, but we talked to each other occasionally and hung around at the same crowd sometimes. However, we still went our separate ways in the end. I wasn't sure what to think about the whole thing, but he had to have known that what he was doing. He certainly was brave. Either that, or just very foolish. While I wasn't sure which, his courage was applauded by others. After all, he couldn't possibly have known who or what would await him on the other end of the portal. And if he did meet someone there, who knew what kind of intentions they might have? Not that any speculations on our parts could have made a difference. When the day finally came, through he went, with applause echoing across the area. Equipped only with the clothes he wore, his multi-tool, a gun, and a device on his wrist that acted as a PDA. Then we waited. The crowd was applauding him slowly dispersed when the enthusiasm died down, as there was nothing for us to do but wait and speculate. Approximately 8 hours later, we received our first message from him. While he had assumed the portal led to another in a different country, or maybe on a different continent, the reality turned out to be much more foreign. The situation he described to us was so outlandish that we initially took it as a joke. A very bad joke, maybe with even worse timing and no punchline at all. It soon became clear to us, though, that we may just have made one of the most important discoveries since the dawn of mankind. Finding the portal had been remarkable in itself, but this took it a completely different level. From what he described about the place, or more accurately, its inhabitants, we surmised it could not be part of Earth at all. We called them dragons, because, according to Reza, that's what they were, or at least that were resembling the most. Even though we found it hard to believe it had been these dragons who sent us all these letters, and that Reza found on the Reza, I think it's Reza. Reza sounds more like a normal name. Reza! Sorry. And what Reza found on the other side of the portal was a whole civilization of them. They could talk, write books, had buildings and electricity. In many ways, their society was actually very similar to our own. So who were they? And where was this place? Could they have been aliens? Our speculations lead us to conclude otherwise. After all, we knew about the existence of thousands of planets, millions of light years away. I accidentally scrolled. Our speculations lead us to conclude otherwise. After all, we knew about the existence of thousands of planets, millions of light years away, that may have been theoretically habitable. I hate this word. Yet even we had never found conclusive proof in regard of an actual alien life form. Some people brought up quantum mechanics and parallel universes, but in the end, all of this was just conjecture and an ultimately fruitless endeavor, since we neither had the means nor the resources to explore these possibilities in greater detail. I think there's one more thing worth mentioning before I move on. The previous isolation had been mutual. They hadn't known about any other intelligent life form beyond their own. Their portal had only recently been discovered and was a technology previously unknown to them. And just as we had myths about dragons, they had myths about us. That was what we knew about them so far. And as interesting as learning those things and debating their cultural significance was, we didn't really know what we should make of it at all. Reza apparently was sure of what he was doing, though he eventually let us know that they had agreed on a trade. We were to give them a few of our PDA devices, which contained vast amounts of knowledge, dwarfing even that of encyclopedias. In return, they would supply us with generators. Overall, they didn't seem as technologically advanced as we had been, but they did surpass us on that one aspect. Their means of generating energy seemed sustainable. Not only that, but they evidently also quite efficient. We certainly would be able to put technology like that to good use, and trading mere past knowledge of the human race for something more tangible was a good call on his part. That was where I came in. My prior experience in both biology and sociology made me a good fit for deliver our PDA devices for a trade, and while in the Dragon's world waiting for the prototypes of our generators to be manufactured by them, I would act as an ambassador on humanity's behalf. What a way to make a first impression by display of mutual goodwill. Everyone benefits and everyone goes home happy. All is well. At least, that was the plan. Despite the images that living talking dragons might conjure up in some people's mind, I didn't even think of bringing a weapon myself, considering that they were reportedly friendly and peaceful enough. There was no need for me to fear potential ill intentions like Reza did, when he had stepped into the unknown territory and acting as humanity's ambassador. I had to do my best to uphold a high standard in fostering those diplomatic relationships. When the first time came for me to step through a portal, all my mental preparedness vanished. My anxiousness was fueled by all the questions lurking in my head, just as the machine started to do its work. Would it hurt? Who would I meet on the other side? What if they really weren't so friendly and just made Reza write those letters with the pretense of appearing friendly, only to lure us into the den of a man eating monsters in certain doom, with us ending up as nothing more than a tasty afternoon snack? Maybe I should board a weapon after all. Suddenly I felt a shiver coursing through my whole body, and beyond when I disintegrated, as if there were cell, every atom of my body was torn from me and pulled into a different direction. Oh, that beeping sound! Damn! I saw darkness and light, painting patterns in the stars as I traveled, and images rapidly flashed before me of things unseen and unspoken, both horrifying and beautiful. It was an experience like any other, yet over in just a split of seconds. Then it was dark. I could only see a patch of lighter colors contrasting with its dark surroundings as my vision started to clear. Its edges got sharper as the patch of light slowly took shape, giving me the distinguished outline of a reptilian head and an array of horns sporting from it. It was a dragon, and as I could now see, a dragon who not only had a pair of round glasses, but also wore a Burgundy's tie around his neck. In the name of our people, I bid you welcome. If I may introduce myself, I am Remy, our guide and ambassador, a representative of our council. The dragon spoke. It was not one thing to have heard and read about this, but something else entirely to have one standing in front of me in flesh and blood and tongue. It was good at all that all my mental preparedness had disappeared when I was teleported, because nothing could have prepared me for this. Sorry, I imagine you might still feel the effects of the teleportation. Drowsiness or weakness is not unusual, as is fainting and spontaneously emptying your bowels, bladder or stomach. How do you feel? Rendered speechless, I had totally forgotten that I was shouldering the burden of representing my people to them as well. So much for being professional, but at least he gave me a good excuse for my blunder. Uh, I think I'm alright. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Maybe we should go before it gets too dark. Come with me, please. I don't know why, but I saw Remy's face. Presumed he was some kind of doctor nerd kind of character. My first voice was Gigimon. Like the Gigimon for Next Order, because a friend of mine is at the moment playing Next Order and I just had to make Remy a Gigimon. Pat, I'm sorry in advance if you hear this later, but well. So, I followed the dragon, not staying too far from him as the sun had already departed for the day and the remaining light diminished by the minute. It is getting hard to see. Where am I going? Sorry about that, but we had a good reasoning to schedule our arrival like this. We did not want you to be ambushed by a crowd, so we had to keep your exact time and date of arrival secret. Thanks? I suppose an event like that would make me a celebrity of sorts. It should be the same if one of you came to us. That's quite an understatement. Some people here are rather superstitious. They might regard you or any of your kind as divine, I suppose. Really? How so? We do have certain myths that involve humans and such. Oh, I suppose the history lesson will have to wait for another time. Here we are. By this point it had gotten so dark that I could barely make out the buildings before us. I briefly wondered whether they might have set streetlights elsewhere or if they just did not require any due to possibly enhanced eyesight or night vision. I could vaguely see the dragon, his light color still visible, within the blackness that engulfs the area, rear up and manipulate the door handle with one of his forepaws. Do dragons have paws? I always considered to call it claws, but that's maybe a me problem. Hinges and creaking, the door opened and with a flick of a switch, the apartment was flooded with light, blinding me after all the time we had just spent without it. This is where you will live for the time being. It is fully stocked, but in case you need anything else, I left you a note with a few phone numbers. This is getting rather late, so I will have to take my leave now. In any case, someone will come and meet you tomorrow morning. Thank you, Remy. Have a good night. Until we meet again. With a nod, Remy left the apartment, mindful enough to close the door behind himself. Surveying the room, I considered the events that had just transcribed as my gaze meet the window. I could see movement outside, and as I drew nearer startled, I could hear footsteps in the grass, moving away quickly, assuming it must have been the dragon I just met. I thought nothing of it as I went to bed and slowly succumbed to the sweet allure of sleep overdue. I spent a few moments thinking about my role, my mission, and what it meant to be here now. I felt the responsibility. Oh, I have a choice. I have choices. Felt the responsibility placed on my shoulders. Now here I was, a stranger in a strange land, as I only began to feel the weight of the burden that lay upon me, the pressure of my task and the expectation I would have to meet in the representing as a species, culture, civilization. So many will depend on it, yet I did not even know there were only human contracted I currently was. I was alone. I wonder how long this will be and if I will be stupid enough to one-stream this shit. I don't think so. I was about to binge the new Sonic Prime season with Fate today, but give me a sec. I awoke from uneasy dreams, looking at an unfamiliar ceiling. Just for a moment, I wondered where I was before the events of last night all came back to me. After a good stretch, I looked around the room, illuminated by the sunlight coming in the window. Outside in the distance, the portal I had emerged from proudly stood on the peak of a small hill. Getting ready, I noticed something lying on the table. It was the note Remy had left for me in case I needed anything, along with his own phone and work number. There were also some numbers of delivery for food and other necessities, as well as emergency and even janitorial services. He had certainly thought of everything, even though I now had to wonder what a dragon plumber might look like. It's me, Dragonio! My musings were interrupted when the doorbell rang. When I opened the door, I was met by another dragon. No offense, he does look more like a raptor than a dragon. Hello, you must be Raidra. I'm Sebastian, I will be your escort. Or security, I suppose. Usually I work for the police, though. Nice to meet you. Do I really give him this deep voice, or do I give him a higher, more shy? You know what, we still stay with the deeper voice. He seems a lot smaller than Remy, and when he somewhat nervously extended his arm towards me, I noticed he apparently only walked on his hind legs. The two forelimbs instead having distinct arms, hands and fingers. When I took his hand into mine and shook it gently, I could feel the individual palms and scales on his rough skin. Nice to meet you too, Sebastian. So where are you taking me? Straight to business, eh? We're going to visit the plant where we are making your generators. They have some news for you, or so I've heard. Reza will be there too. Sounds great. Just follow me. Sorry. While we walked, I was under the impression they were purposely avoiding the bruiser parts of the town, instead straying towards the edges and small alleys as not garner too much attention. Even then, we got the occasional stare. After just a couple of minutes, we arrived at our destination, where we were met by Reza as well as yet another dragon, a vicious-looking beast that didn't stay too close to him. Yo! Hey. Reza, long time no see. How true is that? Good to finally see another human face around here. What a coincidence to have you of all people show up. Yeah, guess those degrees aren't too useless after all. By the way, who's your friend? Just my bodyguard, same as yours. Don't bother with him, he doesn't talk much. He looks grumpy. That's what he always looks like, and yes, that does mean he's always grumpy. Two dragons exchanged a few words, and as I met the gaze of the larger tenebrous dragon, a few paces from us, Sebastian turned towards me and spoke up again. Hey, Ray. Dareth. Hey Rayla, this is Maverick. Nice to meet you. Yeah, whatever. Sorry. Let me get a voice from Maverick real quick. Just need to get it in my head. Yeah, whatever. Just don't expect me to give you any special treatment like everyone else else is, and we'll be good. I've tried to be deeper with Maverick. I will get to it. I will get to it. This is my journey. What are you talking about? So you're saying you haven't noticed the stairs and how they all treat you like you're the next messiah or something? No, I just thought... We're not the ones making a big deal out of this, you are. We're just here to get what we agreed on and then we'll be gone. If anything, I'd actually prefer you left us alone. But you're the one who insisted on following me around wherever I go. Thanks for the sample, Maverick. A growl escaped the darker dragon's tramping lips as he bared his teeth at Reza. Alright. That's quite enough. Let's just all go inside already, shall we? After you. The crisis was quickly averted as we entered the building, which was characterized by its many floors, high ceilings, and long narrow hallways as the bastion lead us to our destination. There you are. I was waiting for you. I hope that's a female or I'm fucking sexist, cause it looks kind of feminine. Wait a minute. I thought we were going to meet the guys from production. What are you doing here? They're only coming in later today, so you just have to make do with me. I see. Well, Raidra, this is Anna. Gott sei Dank. She kinda manages this building, though actually she's more involved with the research wing rather than production and engineering. Nice to meet you. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I have something for you, by the way. I'll take them a while to make all the generators we promised, but we've got one for you here. Feel free to send it home and give it a test. That's great. I'll take it. Looks a little small if you ask me. Don't underestimate its power. Oh, and do be careful not to drop it. Sure. I'll be waiting outside while you do your thing, Raidra. I suppose I'll wait you. I suppose I will wait you outside as well. What thing? Oh, have you brought the PDA? Of course. Here you go. All right. Now to give this thing a test run. The PDA leapt up as her hands swiftly moved around its interface in calculated motions. By the way, could you consider letting me run some tests on you as well? I would only take a drop of your blood. What? Why? I work in biology, so obviously this kind of thing would be very interesting to us. I'd share the results with you, of course. Good thing I'm not scared of needles anymore. I would say rather not. But if we consider the fact that this is all about cultural exchange, especially between two different races, I think it's not that bad of an idea, especially since I don't think Reza has agreed to that. So sure, why not? Great! She was quick to produce a small device from a drawer, which from a glance reminded me a lot of a test tube. Now, if you would give me your hand, please. As I reached out to her, she took my hand into hers before she pressed the device into the back of my hand. It winced as pain jolted through my hand. Something sharp drove itself through my skin, and shortly afterward, a droplet of blood was sucked into the tube attached to small needles. I just thought... So, if you consider that all the medical devices are produced for dragons, or considered with the biology and body standards of dragons, those needles must be either quite sharp to get through dragon scales or really precise to get between dragon scales. Like, I don't know how hard dragon skin itself is supposed to be, but I know scales are a bitch. So this must be some really evil needles for a human being. Thanks. You're welcome. You gave Anna your blood. I get an achievement. Looks like the PDA is good, by the way, so we're just about done then. And since we're both in biology, it could be interesting if you want to meet some other time as well. Here's my number. Alright. See you soon. Well, that was interesting. Did she ask for your blood too? Yeah. Did you give it to her? Oh, well, it's your choice. We've got no idea what they might do with it, though. What should they do? Clone us? Getting hungry. How about some breakfast? I'm all for it. I can't stand early mornings like this. What should be the... that shouldn't be a problem. There's a cafe not far from here. What do you say, Mavis? Mavis? I wouldn't mind to grab a bite myself. That settles then. Luckily for us, the cafe was mostly empty when we arrived, as it was still pretty early in the day. Reza was quick to lead me to a table for two, prompting the dragons to get one of their own, at the other side of the restaurant. Not to sound like an asshole, but most of this chairs, I mean, the design seems to be rather Dragon compatible, but for people like how Remy, Sebastian, and Anna are depicted, but Maverick? I don't think Maverick fits in here anywhere. Ugh, finally. I can't stand that guy being on my tail all the damn time. They say it's for our own security, though. I'm very much aware of that. I'm very much aware that this is what they're saying. We were approached by an individual who appeared to be the waitress of the cafe. She was an interesting looking dragon who, unlike the others I had seen so far, was more akin to a wyvern, possessing 2 extra large wings as her forelimbs, which resembled those of an oversized bat. Oh, it's a human. Sorry. Ah, it's the human. We were able to correctly identify a species based on what we looked. Oh, it's a dragon. That's a good one. Welcome to our establishment. My name's Adine, and I will be your waitress. What can I bring you to? Coffee, hop, with some scrambled egg with bacon. Yeah, oh yeah, scrambled eggs with bacon. Yeah, me too. Make it quick. Sure thing. 2 scrambled eggs with bacon coming right up. As I was always saying, if you look at the big picture, you don't think there's just something off about this whole place. Where is it really? If this is supposed to be a complete separate place from Earth, or even a different dimension, some things just don't add up. Don't you think so too? I'm not sure. I can't really say much more with you. No, I can't really say much more with you. Know who we over there. He's probably listening to us right now. When I let my gaze wander, I saw that Maverick was looking in my direction. Our eyes met briefly, his expression not showing any discernible emotions, while I wondered whether I had just been a coincidence or if he really was able to hear us from that distance. I do have theories, and if I'm right, we might be in trouble. What kind of trouble? What are you talking about? Shh, be quiet. I'll let you know more as soon as I can, but for now, let's just play along. After all, we already have one of these babies. He patted the generator box for emphasis. Good knows we need them. Oh, there she comes. The female returned, astonishing me with her ability to balance the dishes on the edges of her wings. She placed her forelimbs on the table and proceeds to move the dishes from her wings to us with a gentle push of her snout. And there you go. Enjoy. You're welcome. I was wondering what kind of breakfast could be had in a place like this, but I was pleasantly surprised to find it quite as I was used to. The only real difference was that they apparently didn't use cutlery. When the waitresses brought us meals to the 2 dragons across the cafe and exchanged a few words with them, Reza leaned forward and whispered something to me. I'll send you a letter with coded message later. You know what to do. Reza rose from his seat before we made it known to me that he still had a few things to do and left the restaurant, followed shortly after after the larger of the 2 dragons. Did he even eat his breakfast? Laters. I wasn't in a hurry, so I spent a few more minutes in contemplation while I looked out the window and finished my breakfast. Not that this whole situation was already bizarre enough. There was also now the vague sense of danger covered by Reza's earlier words. I did not even have an idea what kind of threat might be lurking out there. In my honest opinion, I don't know if I'm conditioned by Pat, because he told me a bit about Angel of Scaly Rings, but I forget it every time because I'm an idiot. But I think Reza is a bit of a paranoid asshole. Like at the moment, he seemed I at the moment I get some like the Avatar Pandora here, blue people kind of Avatar flashbacks of, oh yeah, new race. Let's proceed with cultural exchange until we have what we want, and then fuck them over for even more resources. Kind of shtick, and I don't like this. That's not even my dragon bias. That's just me trying to be empathetic or naive. One of those things. But I don't want to think of the dragons as something dangerous. Like, let's look at this from a completely blind perspective. At the moment, I'm just here as an ambassador for a cultural exchange, and it seems pretty nice here. So, what is the worst that can happen? Eventually, I got up, ready to be on my way or for whatever else the day might bring. Are you done? Sure am. How do you like it? It was alright. Glad you enjoyed it. Just wait outside and I'll handle the rest here. Sure thing. I stepped outside, taking in the scenery of this strangely familiar world. In the short time I was here, I had already found the similarities between their world and our own utterly fascinating. After all, we were talking about an unmapped place with a never-before-seen form of life. As far as discoveries were concerned, even something as simple as a new unicellular organism or even bacteria would have been remarkable. Yet here I was, standing in the middle of a village, evidently built by this race of intelligence-talking dragons, with a society not unlike our own. Reza didn't seem to share the same interest and instead was more smitten with the generators, but given our reasons for coming here in the first place, I couldn't blame him for his enthusiasm being focused on something else. I certainly can. My thoughts were interrupted as something suddenly zipped past me just a little too close, causing me to stumble back. It was a rather small dragon with a bag clamped on its maw, who apparently had somewhere to be. Okay, this looks rather nice. I've regained my footing and watched as it disappeared into the distance. Even though it seemed enough dragon to recognize the variations in size, color, and other attributes, I guess this one must have been a juvenile of its species. Shortly afterwards, Sebastian joined me outside, having taken care of the tap. I gave her a generous tip on your behalf. I hope you don't mind. How nice of you. I don't want to say out loud as long as I don't have to bill the bills. How nice of you. In any case, now that you've given us the PDAs and Reza has the generators, you're free for today. So if you want to go anywhere in particular, let me know or I could show you around the town. I was tempted to be given a tour, but considering Reza's words, I wanted to be careful and not stray too far without knowing more about this world first. I think I stay home for today. I still have to get used to everything, you know. I'll just accompany you back then. There we are. Home sweet home, for now at least. Well, if you need anything, I'll be outside my shift's end. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, see you tomorrow. See ya. I hadn't really looked at his apartment much, so I spent the rest of the day investigating it and relaxing. Considering checking out some of the phone numbers Remy had left me, I thought it was better to keep a low profile for now. I found the kitchen fully stocked with plenty of groceries. Though a variety was wasted on me, I hadn't been particularly a great cook in the first place, but what was more, I didn't even recognize some of the things I found here. Whatever they were edible that we had back home that I just didn't know about, or something completely alien, I wasn't sure, but I didn't want to take the risk of eating anything I didn't know. After all, it was possible that some of the comestibles might be fine for them to eat, but still be poisonous to us. I was also glad to find a shelf that was filled to the brim with a variety of books. While I found the subject matter of man, myth or reality to be quite intriguing, I had to give up after just a few pages due to its exceptionally dry writing style, which I wasn't inclined to enjoy at the moment. In the end, I settled for an adventure novel about a dragon archaeologist who stumbles upon the remains of a long-lost human civilization, after which she is hunted by an evil organization who wanted to use the found magical artifacts for its own nefarious purposes. While entertaining, I had to admit that it reminded me a little too much of the flashy novels we had at home. I certainly found it amusing that certain tropes were not really unique to us as a species, though I wondered where this kind of literature had fallen into disfavor here as it had back where it came from. I was reading a particularly exciting scene in which the hero, Sheridan, uses one of the magical artifacts shaped like a pair of human hands holding a scepter with a globe at the top to prevent herself from being crushed and ground into a bloody pulp by accident. Human tramples moving walls when I suddenly heard the doorbell ring. Hello. God, how small are you? Hello there. Oh, no. Wait. I get that. Give me a sec. Hello there. Would you please sign here? I'm not signing away my right with this, am I? I've got a letter for you that requires signature confirmation. I see. Looking over the clipboard the small dragon was holding up to me, I saw that the sender on the letter in question was Reza. There you go. I'm Lauren, by the way. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions? What is this about? I'm just making small talk. Wait a minute, I recognize you. You tried to do the same thing with Reza. Maybe I should report you to your superiors for your inappropriate behavior towards your clients. But it's important. Please just let me talk to Raidra for a few minutes. How do you know my name? Oh wait. If he is what I think it is, then he has my name because it was written on the package. You know how it is. If you want an interview with one of the humans, you have to get permission from the proper authorities. Help me out here, Raidra. As an ambassador, you care about the accuracy portrayal of humans in the media, don't you? Then you should talk to me. Otherwise, someone else will find the blanks, and who knows what they will come up with. Let me show you something. The small dragon opened his bag, rummaging through a number of letters and small packages. I think I lost it. Anyway, I wanted to show you some pictures of what people think humans look like. On some of them, they have like 4 heads and look nothing like you. It's crazy. What are you? This is meine Stimme. What are you, Lauren? A reporter? No, I'm just... Do you want me to remove him, Raidra? Is that what he said? Is what he's saying is true? Yeah, I guess. I see. That sounds more interesting, though. Alright, you can leave your numbers here and maybe I call you later, but that's all I can promise. Speaking of, I'm not surprised that they think humans look a lot different than us, look a lot different than I think they do, because there's a reason we have really weirdly designed deities, as well in media as well in history itself. Especially now that I think about it, if you look at some things like the Hindu gods, or Norse mythology, where most gods are humanly designed, even though they are not in that regard human, if you think about things like the giants or the Asgardian gods and shit. Alright, I can leave your number here and maybe I call you later, but that's all I can promise. Thank you so much. He quickly produces a small sheet of paper, scribbled his number on it. Afterwards, he sheepishly represented it with both hands. Alright, you got what you wanted, off you go now. Sorry about that. Don't worry about it. I guess that should be all. I'll see you tomorrow then. Right. With all the commotion, I almost forgot that I was still holding Reza's letter. Within the plain envelope, there was a similar plain sheet of paper with his handwriting. When I started reading, however, I saw that his wording was so full of the pleasantries. I knew he hated that I assumed every word of it was a fake. I knew he hated that I assumed every word of it was faked as to conceal its true intent. He did mention I know what to do, but I was unsure of how I am supposed to decode this letter's secret message. I didn't remember ever having a conversation about this topic with him, yet he still relied on me to remember whatever it was that I was missing, or he thought I would just be able to figure it out on my own. This is what I had said. Hello, my friend. I hope this letter reached you swiftly and in good condition. Unfortunately, we were not able to catch up earlier, so I wanted to write you this letter. How have you been? This last... I should maybe use Riza's voice, since it is Riza who's writing this paper. Okay, let me get this. Swapping from voice to voice is fucking hard, but I have somehow fun. Unfortunately, we were not able to catch up earlier, so I wanted to write you this letter. How have you been the last few years? What have you been doing? How's the family? By the way, I wanted to give Riza more of a Zhong Li / Keith Sutherland kind of voice, but I can't do a good Keith Sutherland. I feel like there's so much we should talk about, since we have not seen each other much recently. At least we have a chance to do this in form. Quite an exciting venture we are now, right? How have you liked it here so far? Made any dragon friends yet? Anyway, I will be looking forward to your reply soon. Best regards. Okay, if I... No, that doesn't make sense. Best regards, Riza. Various things came to mind. Only reading certain words or letters was one of that I thought of immediately, but I couldn't make out anything after trying to find a system within its array of letters and lines. Maybe I had to look more carefully. Read between the lines, I think I know it's me. Let's try reading between the lines. Lines, of course. Maybe it was supposed to read between them. I didn't have an implement on me which would have been able to read fine print though. With this handwritten letter, I doubt the reader could have done anything of the sort. Look elsewhere. Or maybe he referred to the fact that we were both given an apartment. Considering the things they provided us with, maybe I just had to find the right object to decode the message. There were many everyday items here though, of course, and I still had no idea what particular I was looking for. Even if... So, not that I mean, decoding shit is all fun and all. But if you don't know the decoding cipher, it's really annoying and I hate those riddles. Because I'm too stupid to do them. And even if Riza somehow knew what kind of shit I have in my apartment, doesn't mean he can for certainty know that I will have it. Like, what if I need a ruler and there is none here? Just an example. The bookshelf was stocked with quite the varieties of books on different topics. Maybe Riza left me another message here at some point. He could have known what I was going to live here, so I suppose it is possible that he helped me with the preparation and hid something for me to find. Nope. Even after removing every single book from this shelf, there is still no indicator of anything that would help me decode his secret message. But even if Riza did leave a hint, this could have been anywhere in the apartment and not just in this bookshelf. You know what, let's look in the kitchen, I guess? In the pantry? Just some fruits and veggies here. What should I look at? Date? If I put it on the floor and then step on it, what would happen? I'd be going on... Oh! I'd be going on... Oh! Wait. Now it starts to ring. Isn't there this bullshittery with secret ink that you can only... Wait. Was it that you can only read it with lemon? Or that you use lemon to make it invisible? Wait, I think you use lemons to make it invisible? And then use a black light to read it. Lemons, of course. Why didn't I realize it sooner? Lemon juice is about the simplest way to write a hidden message using household items. We learned about that in chemistry. In the most boring detail, of course. A message written in lemon juice on paper becomes just about invisible to the naked eye when right, but after heating it gently, oxidation occurs, making the message visible. Oh, that's also working! Is that why how do black lights work? I was sitting next to him in class when we learned that. He made a joke about using this method to cheat on the next test, and I replied by saying he'd have to bring an iron. Had he really expected me to remember a random chemistry class that happened years ago? But then I did remember it after all. Meet me at the portal tonight, 10 p.m. was all the matches said. I wasted a good amount of time, but I still had some left before I had to go out and meet Reza, so I decided to make some lunch. Afterwards, I resumed reading my book about the continuing adventures of Sheridan and her exploits in destroying cultural artifacts. Okay, what is this now? Is it a Max Payne? Not Max Payne. What's it called? Uncharted. Is it an Uncharted, an Indiana Jones, or Tomb Raider reference? I think it could be all of them. But in my defense, the only thing I could remember about Tomb Raider is the the Gauntlet of Thor for some fucking reason, and the T-Rex battle in Anniversary or the Underworld, one of them. One of the newer trilogies, at least. I just had it with my dad the other day. Unsurprisingly, it came to a happy end, with the evil organization stopped in its tracks, and at least for now. I thought the ending was deliberately left open for ambiguity, but when I turned the page and saw the advertisement for the next entry in this apparently long-running series of books, I realized all of this had just been a ploy to set up the inevitable sequel. Luckily, the disappointment didn't last long, as I had to get going to meet Reza at the portal. When I got outside, I didn't seem quite as dark as when I arrived yesterday. I might have had difficulty finding my way otherwise, but I could still see the portal in the distance. As I walked, I wondered if anyone was following me, but but the land seemed oddly deserted. Was everyone already asleep? Eventually, I arrived at my destination. Reza was already standing idly by the portal, his fidgeting making it obvious that he was waited just for me. I was already wondering where you get it at all. What a wonderful night it is. Just look at the stars. You can see them clearly here, without all the pollution lingering in the air like back home. Almost as if we were looking right into the face of eternity itself. For so long, humanity thought we'd find aliens out there. Yet after all these years, we found we were still alone in the universe. Turns out, we were just not looking in the right place. What's going on, Reza? Why did you call me here, at this time? For now, because we're sending the generators home. Right, before I was sent here, they told me they would limit the use of portals as they couldn't afford to keep it open all the time. In order to keep in contact with us and to enable us to send things over to them, the portal would be open for just a quarter of an hour each day. Sending something back home wasn't really problematic for us, since the high energy expenditures associated with sending bigger objects only affected the sender, not the receiver. However, this also meant that until all business was concluded in regards of our trade with the PDAs and the generators, we were basically stuck here. As for the other, do you know what this place is? You said something about trouble. How much danger are we in, really? More than enough. I'm afraid this whole place will be gone soon, and we better not be here when it happens. What are you talking about? I hope you'd see it too, but then it took me a while to understand, and I had a head start on you in any case. While we were speaking, my gaze wandered and fixed on something movement nearby. It was hard to make out anything, but I imagine it might be just been the wind blowing, though a nearby shrubbery? A shrubbery? Oh, wait, I remember, Monty Python. Except for the fact that there was no wind. Reza, this might take a while to explain, but we got the whole night. Riza, look. He turned around to face to whatever I was seeing. He squinted hard before he called out. You! How dare you follow me even here? The disturbance came closer until it became clear. It was Maverick, who had hidden nearby to listen in our conversations. How did Maverick hide? This guy is a chonker. I knew you were up to no good. What were you talking about? What are you planning here? Some kind of attack? Wait a minute, there is no reason. Don't try to deny it. I've heard you both talking about it in the cafe, and I saw the letter. You think I couldn't smell the lemon on it? Pathetic. You have to come with me to the police station now, both of you. Come on, I think you overreact. Did you just pull a fucking gun on a dragon? Did Godzilla never teach you that bullets don't pierce scales? What the fuck are you doing, Riza? Come on, Raidra, let's get out of here. In the dragon's side, I could see the wound where the bullet had penetrated his side. I'll figure it had. As penetrated his side, a trickle of blood staining his dark scalp and the earth beneath. Riza used the opportunity to run off in some direction. I wasn't sure which. I frantically scanned my surroundings, looking for Riza, though he had already vanished into the darkness. What was I supposed to do? Run away as well? Help Maverick? I was just a diplomat, and I had no idea what was happening. Suddenly the dragon whipped around, hitting me in the guts with his thick tail. I was lifted off the ground briefly before I felt the impact of my body hitting the ground hard enough that my vision blurred almost immediately. A deafening roar battered my ears. Was this his cry for help? I could barely move, but I found it better not to try as not to startle the wounded dragon more than he already was. I certainly would have ended badly for me if he tried anything. I heard him take a few unsure steps before he lays down on the ground, panting. I'm still watching you, you know, and you better not move, or for your own good. If I have to get up again and come after you in this condition, I can promise you I won't be nice. It took a few minutes of listening to his labored breathing before someone arrived. It was two dragons. The first I recognized as Sebastian, the other one I didn't know. I heard Sebastian and Merrick exchange a few words. Even the stocky fellow approached me. Ooh, Chief Deputy? Hey kid. Hey kid, you alright? Still feeling a little dizzy. I'm Bryce, chief of the police in this town. You can tell me what happened. I'll be honest, I'm already not on Riza's side. I don't know how many chapters this game has, but this is only chapter 1 and Riza is already on my shit list. Is that so? His face was stern and seemingly lost in thoughts as I overheard Sebastian's conversation. Yeah, but you're the flyer on duty. We probably won't find him now. Not here in the darkness at any rate. Well, that's just brilliant! What do you think, Chief? Raidra, can you walk? Yeah, I think so. Alright, Sebastian, take Raidra to the apartment, let's get us some help here for Maverick, and then we look for Riza. Right on. Come on, Raidra, I will help you up. I was still shaken up by the events I just witnessed when I arrived at my apartment. Not knowing anything better to do, I soon fell into a deep slumber. The next day, I awoke with many questions lingering in my head. I considered calling someone from the police department to ask about Riza and Maverick, but in the end, I decided against doing so, as I was sure they would contact me if they had anything to tell me. I knew it was no use worrying about it for now, so I settled for starting another book. It didn't take very long, though, before the doorbell rang. Did Bryce, the chief of police, take it upon himself to escort me today? Oh, it's you again. Are you surprised? No, but I guess it'll mean bad news. Afraid so. How are you holding up? Better than yesterday, that's for sure. Let's go for a walk then, shall we? Sure. This time I was taking along a different route than yesterday, and I was quite sure there was some to this than just taking a walk. I'll just go ahead and guess you didn't find Reza. Yeah, we hoped he would have come back to his own by now. Do you have any idea where he might be? Maybe he mentioned some sort of place in particular that holds some meaning to him? No, not really. He didn't get a chance to talk much at all yesterday before. There's that too. I have no idea where Reza would have done anything like that. I had the impression that they weren't very fond of each other, but this? How is he, by the way? Oh, Maverick? It's doing fine, but there is plenty to blame to go around. You're right, they didn't particularly like each other. In his statement, Maverick says he suspected Reza of planning some sort of attack. Do you know anything about it? No, he only told me something was going to happen, not that he was planning anything. At least that was the impression I got. He's suspecting you too, by the way, that you both planned this all from the beginning. No, that wouldn't make any sense. Actually, none of this is making any sense. Why would we go through all this length of our agreement only to jeopardize it by doing something like this? You even already have our PDAs, and we don't have much to show for it yet. If we had any nefarious plans, this wouldn't have been a very good idea. You have a good point, I believe you. But from our side, we only have Maverick's words and the whole matter. After all, he was the one who spent the most time with Reza since he arrived here. But even then, he didn't really had any reason to follow you yesterday, and his behavior was completely out of line. I'm just glad you came out fine. If he wasn't on mandatory sick leave, he would be suspended right now. We have to wait until this whole thing is over before we decide to do what to do with him. I can assure you this won't be taken lightly. Where I come from, this kind of attack on a diplomat could be classified as an act of war punishable by death. Wait. Kind of attack on a diplomat could be classified as an act of war punishable by death. That means I would side with Reza on that. Wouldn't it? The phrasing says this is about him, Maverick, going against us. No. I'm going the safe route. I'm not siding with Reza. Reza is at the moment on my shit list. I'm not siding with someone who talks with me about the sudden end of the world and shoot his presumably bodyguard. No. Even though Maverick did step out of line, this was a big move on Reza's side. Especially on Reza's side. I personally guarantee it. We still got quite a lot on our hands though. We have a wounded dragon and a missing human. This could lead to a diplomatic crisis. Maybe Reza will still show up soon. We can get all this behind us. I hope so too. I really wouldn't want to jeopardize everything over this unfortunate incident. Yeah, how about we both just keep quiet about this whole thing for now. After all, I don't think any of us wants our people panicking about this already, right? I merely nodded in agreement. Nyeh. Oh, fucking chair. Eventually we arrived at the police station, where the chief took a formal statement in regard of yesterday's events. He asked me about Reza and Maverick too. Not that I knew much of anything that preceded yesterday's event, or the mysterious catastrophe Reza was mentioned. Afterwards, he thanked me and left to file my statement, where I sat by his table, waiting and listening to the going-ons of the small provincial town police department. When he returned, he was approached by someone who seemed to have urgent news. A lot of talking between the two ensured that I couldn't make out from my position. This went on for a bit until Bryce returned to me. Afraid I had more bad news for you. Reza has now officially become a murder suspect. Murder? Wait. Not saying this escalated quickly, but what the fuck? Murder? We headed to the crime scene and hoped you'd come with us. Me, a crime scene. I don't really know much about forensics. It's just that you're the only link to Reza we have. Considering what he said would happen to us, it's in all our interest that we find him as soon as possible. And if he has anything to do with it, you might be able to help us find him. Your cooperation would certainly be appreciated, and would be a nice gesture to show us that you're trustworthy in the eyes of those who might think otherwise after what happened yesterday. Will you help us? I won't decline it, but I can't promise any progress. I can only help. I suppose I don't really have much choice here, but you're right. We've got to find Reza, and if that's what it takes, then I'll do it. Very well, let us go then. On our way to the crime scene, he tried to prepare me for what would come. I had studied biology, so I was familiar with the sight of dead animals, asking myself how similar this would be. I wondered if my reaction would be any different if it wasn't a dragon, but a human corpse I would be seeing. When we arrived, we were met by Sebastian, who gave us an overview of the whole situation. This morning, the victim was found by a delivery flyer for the restaurant. Blood loss from multiple wounds are the likely cause of death. Forensic was already here, so feel free to poke around. I just realized, of course I'm playing it blind, so I wasn't expecting Bryce to show up, but now I gave Sebastian the deepest voice. A few paces in front of us, the unfortunate victim lay on the ground, covered by a sheet that concealed the body, but not a large red stain beneath. We approached while Sebastian went off to deter any curious onlookers. I know it won't be pretty, but I'm sure of putting you through this. But you know what's at stake here. Just remember what I told you and you should be fine. Alright. Are you ready? Guess so. Multiple stab wounds in the membrane and the torso. This is... And a slit throat. What do you think? Well, he's definitely dead. Yeah, rest in peace. Let's just say it will be your test and tell me what you can deduce from what you see. Give it your best shot. Okay, we're playing Danganronpa, I guess. 2 wings, 2 legs, just like the waitress at the cafe, about as big as a human lengthwise, if not slightly taller. The wingspan would certainly look impressive at that size. The wounds are kinda hard to miss. True, but what are they telling you? They were inflicted with a sharp implement. The preparator was unusually large or small unusually small. He was already dead when he got these wounds. It was yeah. These are clean cuts, like from a knife or another sharp instrument. That is true, but why does it matter? Dragons don't use knives. We earlier stated that they don't use cutlery. Still a weird word for me because the German word is completely different for Besteck. But dragons apparently don't use knives. Apparently. I mean, it wouldn't explain why Bryce know what a knife is in that regard, but yeah. Why use knives if you have sharp claws? Actually, we do. Mostly by those who have the proper hands to use them, but still. Couldn't have been Reza. Why couldn't have been Reza? Reza had a gun yesterday. Why would he use a knife now? Right. That weapon he was using on Merrick is called a gun, right? Okay, good. Okay, so you know how to use knives and apparently swords, depending on your history, but you don't know what a gun is. Okay, but I'm just trying to imagine a dragon with a M16 right now. Yeah. What strange contraption. Well, we could have had a reason to use a knife over his gun if it was him. Can you think of any? Makes him look cooler. He lost his gun. He did not want to make any noise. He wouldn't because it wasn't him. He wouldn't because it was clearly a... Why is there so many options for suicide? This is clearly a murder. I'm not that stupid. Especially not in broad daylight. Especially not in the midst of the streets. He did not make any noise. After all, he ran away from Maverick, trying to hide from the police. Something as loud as a gunshot would have easily given away his position and alerted others in the area. Right, that could be a good reason. By the way, which wound do you think was the lethal one? I think it's the one... It has to be the one on the neck. Look at all this blood, it's mostly the neck area. I think it was the one on his neck. That's right, all of the blood from it wasn't a giveaway. If this is a stab wound characterized by a rather small footprint, you can tell it's also the deepest one. And from the location, it's pretty obvious this must have done tremendous damage. What else do you see? Well, there is a lot of blood. The blood splatter suggests that he can... I swear to God, if I read the word suicide one more time... He had... He had AIDS! He was hemophiliac. Isn't that the fear of blood? No, wait. Philiac means liking. That's not the point! I'm sidetracking hard right now. He died here. Else there would have been a trail we could follow. Splatters also suggested this is where they fought. That's true. Unfortunately, it doesn't help with determining who the preparator is. Objection! Oh, come on! Excuse me? Sorry, I just always want to say that. Go on, please. It was also blood on his muzzle. Oh, hoppla. I used Bryce's voice for myself. You tell me. The blood on the muzzle, he bit his tongue during the fight. He has gummed his... He had a bloody stake. He fought back. He's a vamp. I think he fought back? I mean, if he bit... Yeah, that depends if it's its own blood. It might be the preparator's blood. Yes, that is true. I accept forensics already took a sample of it, so it might actually help us determine who the preparator is. I think that's about everything. You know what, kid? I'm impressed. Maybe we should have you around more often. You did well on the first investigation. Hey Chief, hey Chief, do you still need the witness here for anything? Sebastian approached with the dragon who had discovered the body earlier. I recognized her as Adine, the waitress from the cafe. She seemed distraught given the situation, wasn't very surprising. I don't think so. Take her to the department, get her statement written up, and that shall be it. Sure thing. Alright, miss, we're going to take you to the department. Of course. When she spotted me, however, her composure brightened visibly. Oh, it's the human. I'm a human? Well, I call you by your name, but you never actually told me. It's Raidra. What? What are you even doing here? Do you work for the police now? Guess so. Looked like it. Maybe I should be calling your officer then. I don't think I'm quite there yet. By the way, I didn't know you also did deliveries. Do a little bit of everything, really. That's nice. Loved my scrambled eggs yesterday. If you like it so much, why don't you take our number? We could deliver something to you next time if you don't want to come in. Thanks. Thanks for... I'm always surprised to hear really, like, let's call them samples right now. Because that makes me appreciate that I seem to get the voices kinda right. Because that was Sebastian right now. Guess we should get going. Bye. What do we do now? I suppose we had to, I suppose we head off too, unless... Oh no. What is it? We've got... We've got a violent homicide, and of course nobody from the department tells me. I have to find out from a neighbor who wanted to ask me about it. Good thing rumors travel fast, eh? Of course nobody told you you're on sick leave. Mandatory sick leave, I might add. I'm not here in any official capacity, you see. I am merely enjoying a creative walk in the fresh air and happened to come across you by accident. My brother in Christ, you just told us you came here because you heard of the murder. What do you want? I don't want anything. I just find it interesting that no one tells me about this. But the prime suspect's body can mess with the investigations. I see how it is. You know that what you are thinking, but don't jump on conclusions here. I don't need to jump to conclusions. I think that that body we found says it all. You really have an attitude problem. You know, if you weren't sick leave, you'd be suspended right now for attacking Radar yesterday. Do you even have any idea what kind of repercussion this could have on us all? Me attacking Radar. As I can see, I am the only one who's injured here. Besides, I'm so sorry for apparently being the only one who's doing his damn job. Right. Let's all just sit idly by while the suspect's on the loose and planning his next move. You know what? Whatever it was Reza was talking about, he was going to tell me just before you showed up yesterday. I don't need to hear you, of all people, belittling me about this. What's your problem? If anything, I want to find him just as much as you do. Don't compare yourself to me. Your words mean nothing. Enough! You shouldn't even be here, so you better go now and get some rest before I have to take disciplinary actions. Fine, but when we find him, you'll see I was right, and if I have to prove it myself, so be it. Can he even just do his own investigation like that? Well, as long as he doesn't interfere with us, we can't really stop him from doing things on his own free time. I see. I suspect he won't adhere to the standards of performing an unbiased investigation, though. He was already made up his mind. It's clear to me that he won't be looking for facts just for evidence to support his own view in order to prove it to us or himself. Who knows? He always been like that. Always something to prove. We have to be careful. He'll be looking for Reza soon enough. To be honest, it's not before Reza before here. On one hand, I want to take option one. I can get why Merrick is pissed, but his bias is problematic. Let's call it problematic. Let's hope we find Reza before he does, because the consequence of that would be devastating. Yeah. Don't worry, Reza will turn up eventually. Surely I hope so. All things considered, I had to admit that it remained a possibility that Maverick was right. But could the Reza I knew really be a murderer? You know what? If you think of something that might help with the investigation, or if you need anything, just call me. I will. Well, I think we're done here. Let's go. By the way, voicing Merrick goes on my throat. Bryce led me back to the apartment. I guess there wasn't really much for me to do in the meantime. As I was spared the more arduous part of the investigation, maybe I should have been glad about this, though I know I had an afternoon to fill. What should I do? You know what? I want to meet with Anna. I want to know if my blood samples are done. I don't know why, but If it goes about bodily stats and stats, bodily information and shit, I'm always up for it. She told me to meet you here, so she gets to be around somewhere. The production facility had many different rings, covering everything from research to processing, in addition to production. It was easy to get lost if you didn't know where you were going. I heard some commotion in the distance, and when I approached, I was surprised to see not only Anna but Remy as well. They seemed to be in the middle of a heated conversation. I thought it would be inappropriate to approach now, so I remained several paces back out of the field of vision, but still close enough to be able to make out their words. We have heard the rumors. So you come to me on the basis of rumors. Is that how you operate? What do you want from me? This is not the first time you've been in trouble, you know. This might not be so lenient with you this time. I don't know what you are talking about. Consider this a warning you should process carefully for your own good. If you wanted to threaten me, at least you could have done. The least you could have done was to send someone more intimidating. You may be larger than I am, but even I can see that you're just a big coward. You wouldn't dare to put your dirty claws on me. I wouldn't? I'm here as a courtesy to you, not to threaten or intimidate. Do with that information whatever you wish. You know, we'll be back, and if they find anything, there will be consequences. Do you think I care? This attitude of yours is not helpful. Neither are you. Well, I've said what I came here to say. Good luck. Whatever. Remy turned and left and started walking in my direction. I ducked behind a pillar, and when he went past, I wasn't sure if he'd seen me. Either way he left, I was safe to approach now. Hey, Redra. Wait, how long have you been here? Not very long. Not that it matters much anyway, this is just par for the course for me. I know Remy, what's the problem? The nerve of that guy. He probably wouldn't be so uptight if it wasn't for that thing with his girlfriend a few years ago. But I don't care about him. It's his superiors that are the problem. They don't like me in the research I'm doing. They cite their traditions and values, claiming that those are what have kept us alive for so long. If anything's were to change, it would obviously fracture the base this society is built on, cause it all to collapse, tear apart families, and allow all hell to break loose. Because of your human research? I mean, wait. It makes sense. I know my society. I know I can understand that one. What the fuck is going on? Sorry, got some stuff on my phone right now. Okay, so besides diplomatic exchange between cultures because of some bullshittery, we also have now to think about other shit. Yay! At least you believe those old-timers who kept repeating these... At least if you believe those old-timers who kept repeating these phrases. And all that nonsense because of my research. Valuable research that could save lives, mind you. What kind of research are you talking about? I could show you sometimes, but we are here to have fun, right? I thought you wanted to show me since you said you were both in biology and all that. Sure, sure. But after doing this all day, I have to excuse me for not wanting to talk about it even more. Wasting my time with that guy was just another setback. Not that I don't already have more than enough work to do. Even right now I'm supposed to be working overtime. Give me the toy another time. Oh, I will. Oh, and thanks for the blood, by the way. The results aren't in yet, but I'll let you know when they are. Good. I'm just as curious about the results as you are. No, you aren't. Are you coming on to me? Or is it just that you're really passionate about your research? I am way curiouser than you are. Curiouser? Is that even a word? It is, since an author popularized its use where I came from. Then I am way more curious than you are. Now, if I am the curiousest. Excuse me for a moment, but I must weep for the English language. At this rate, why don't you just say you're the most curiousest? I'm not sure if I'm not I'm not sure I am not a linguist, are you? Not exactly, but I have way with words. My tongue is quite skilled, or so I hear. Excuse me for a bit, but there were lesbian thoughts in my head, which is really weird despite the fact that I'm male. You cannot tell me that she's not making innuendos right now. In any case, if you have to work overtime today, does that mean I should wait for you, or do you want me to come back another time? Neither. I think my break should start right about now. As long as you don't rat me out, that shouldn't be a problem. So, where are we going? I don't know where you are going, but I think I need a coffee or 5. You can take along if you like. It would be my fingerprint. I'm not sure. You know what? Sure, why not? Well, see if it'll be mine as well. I hope you brought your own money though, because I'm not sharing. I didn't, but everything I purchased is taken care of by my ambassador status. Nice. Actually, that opens up some very interesting possibilities. It might, but I'd rather not do anything too fishy. I don't want to raise any suspicion, you know. Good point. Well, let's go then. After you, my lady. Smooth operator. There we are. Finally. Can't wait to get some coffee into my system. Oh, hello Rydra. Nice to meet you again. Hey, who's your companion? Can't you just take my order? I apologize. Let me try that again. Welcome to our establishment. My name is Adine. I'll be your waitress for today. What can I bring you to? I'll have a coffee. Thank you. And what can I bring the esteemed and gentle person on the other side of the table? I think it's... Bring me beer! No, kein Bier for 4. Just a soda. No problem, I'll be right back. What's your problem? I'm here to order something, not to chit-chat with the employees. I think she was just trying to be friendly. I know, it's fine. If you say so. Here you go, enjoy. I totally needed that. And the next, I way too much trying to disassemble the logic of this human-looking shit in a dragon society, cause I can't imagine trying to sip from a coffee cup with a snout. But that's just a me thing, I guess. So, you work in that facility. And your point is? What's your job there? I mean, what do you exactly? Well, I do all kinds of things. The truth is, we just have all kinds of specialized machinery there, which is used by many different people for many different purposes. The building is owned and run by the council, who oversees the schedule. It is quite handy since you can go from research to testing and even manufacturing all in the same complex. Jesus. I started also research in biology, which is still my main job, But I've been there so long and learned the ins and outs of the building so well that eventually I was asked to take over some managerial duties. Sure, it seemed more work and also allows me to run a personal project every once in a while. Does that state your curiosity? It sounds like a fascinating place. I'm not sure if I'd go so far as call it fascinating, but it surely does give me a lot of opportunities. Oh, I forgot to ask you, what do you actually plan to do with my blood and the test results? What is this? Interrogation? Well, it's not the first. Okay, all the options sound a bit assholey. Let me get them through real quick. Oh, fuck, I'm supposed to try today. Sorry, I'm just stressed from all the work lately. I'm not getting much respite between my regular work, overtime, personal projects, and other disturbances like that Remy sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. What do you usually do during your free time? Having a good work-life balance is very important, you know. I love my job, I really do. Actually, I love it so much that even in my free time I still do things that have to do with biology. As I said, I've got the opportunities to do my own projects sometimes, so that's what I focus on when I get the chance. It would be a shame to pass up an opportunity like that without using it. With the current influx of work, I rarely leave the facility if I'm not eating or sleeping. Even right now, I'm only on break and have to go back for another shift. Maybe you should do something else for a change? Maybe, but right now that's not really an option. It would help. Oh fuck. So that wasn't the first time. No, I suppose I'm on their watch list or something. Why is that? It's a long story. I'm not one for a first date. And I'm not one for a first date. So you're saying this is a date? No, I'm saying even if this was a date, which would be more than whatever this is, it wouldn't be very appropriate. Stories about work aren't very romantic. It's always about work with you. Come on, you're on break. Maybe we should do something to take your mind off all that for once. Like what? I'm not sure. Do you have any other hobbies? Not really. Hey waitress. How can I help you? Do you have anything here to entertain your guests? Any games or other distractions? I'm not sure. Let me go check. What exactly are you trying to do? I'm being cute and spontaneous? The anticipation is killing me. Actually, no. It's boredom. It's more for the kids, but we really don't have anything else. It's fine, thank you. Have fun. A board game? Really? You know, it's not... I know it's not Knizik's textile merchant, but I suppose it's better than nothing. Oh, is this a reference of Catan? What's that fucking board game? Siedler of Catan? Try to know a board game in its German language and then try to figure out if the English name is the same or really, really different. Like, everybody knows Monopoly, but some people don't know Siedler of Catan. Textile Merchants Kniski? It's a game, never mind. Well, I'm not convincing that this will accomplish anything unless the goal is to make me regret this day. It seems to be a trivia game. Do you have a good general knowledge? Do you even know what kind of advanced knowledge I have to memorize and work with every single day? Hey, let me tell you something. Just because you have advanced knowledge doesn't mean you have all the knowledge below it. Trust me, I really fucked up Trivial Pursuit every time. You bet I have good general knowledge, certainly more than enough to beat a foreigner like you. If you're so confident, maybe we should make a bet. What do you have in mind? Let's say if I win, we go on a real date with. I get to go on a real date with you. No fitting me in during your break, no complaining about everything, and no acting as if you're doing me a favor, especially because it was you who wanted to meet me in the first place. And if I win, I'll have to come in sometimes so I can run more tests. I'll have you to come in sometimes so I can run more tests on you. Not to sound kinky or freaky, but both, either if I win or lose, it sounds both like a date. And I was not expecting, and excuse me for using Gen Alpha language, but I was not expecting to rizz up the scientist. But what do I expect? Also, now that I think about it, I think my character was depicted as genderless. Well, I can only win if I have no B, Neri. If that's what you want, so be it. Let's do it then. Since it was your idea, it's only fair that I start, so how does it work? It seems to be pretty simple. We take turns drawing cards and asking questions until we both ask a number that we agree on beforehand. Whoever gets them all right in the end wins. How many questions shall it be then? How about 5? Let's make it 3. Not sure how long this will take, and my break won't be for too long either. Alright, go ahead then. I saw mischief in her eyes, her stare piercing, paired with the hint of an arrogant smirk that exposed her anticipation. She seemed confident that she would win and loved every second of it. Slowly her hand went over the deck of cards and drew the topmost. Who cited as one of our most important historians, his work spreading over 20 books, credited with mapping out our entire history since the beginning of sentience. I don't know any of that. I think it's Otomo Izumi though. I'm afraid that's wrong. I'm sorry, Raidra. How was I supposed to know something like that? It was your challenge, you dig your grave, you lie in it. Besides, it's not that if it wasn't clear to me from the beginning that I'd win, so no surprises there. Let's see how you fare with your first question. Bring it. How far can you walk into the woods? Only until the middle, anything after that and you're walking out of the woods again. You're right, that's rather a weird question though. I suppose you read the right kinds of books growing up. I know most of those trick questions. Let's see what the second question has in store for you, shall we? Alright, if there are 5 apples and you take away 3, how many do you have? No, you see, that's a trick question. 3 is the correct answer because that's the number that you took away. Fuck! Let's just move on. As you wish. Okay, here's your question. In which year of our timeline did we gain sentience? 0. The beginning of our timeline marks the event when we gained sentience. Right again, have you played this game before? It's a children's game. 3 questions aren't really a challenge. These questions aren't really a challenge. I'll just go ahead and draw the next card so we can end this. An adventurer who values his life has to choose between 3 rooms to come across. Which one of the following will be the safest? A room filled with poisonous gas, a room filled with 100 highly trained assassins, or number 3, a room submerged in water filled with alligators that have not eaten in 8 months. Ha! Joke's on you! I watched God of War Ragnarok. I know this question. The answer is 3, because alligators who haven't eaten anything in 8 months will be dead. Nope, in fact all the rooms are equally deadly. Alligators can go up to 2 years or more without food, making room 3 as deadly as the others. The other 2 rooms should not require any explanations. Okay, that is some major bullshit! Bullshit! I didn't want to say that. I do. I think you're about to lose. Looked like this is going to be the last question. Let's get this over with already. What is the approximately acceleration speed of a nose-diving flyer? I have to think about that one for a minute. I was just kidding. I still could have calculated that. Okay, here's the real question. What is the only substance known to be lighter in its solid form compared to its liquid state? Water. That seems to be correct. Of course it is. Duh. Just look at that. Just look at that. I won. Someone had to. This turned out to be more fun than I expected. Of course, the main reason for that is because I won. But still. I get it. You won. You're great, etc. That is true. So, when should I come in for the tests? Actually, I'm not sure if I get a spot for them in the facility anytime soon, but I'll be sure to let you know. I'm quite sure you will. But you know what? This wasn't so bad after all. Maybe I'll let you have your date. Really? Sure. I mean, I didn't win, but I think you earned it nonetheless. Or maybe I'm just that nice. Okay. Well, it will be... it's up to you. Call me if you're interested. Well, I'll let you know. I'm still going to collect my prize though. I'm sure I'll make sure of that. You bet I will. In any case, I shall get going now. My break is just about to end. Bye. I was not sure what I had expected out of this encounter, but I certainly wasn't this. After all, proposing a proper date was my way of sticking it to her for being rude. Even though I lost the bet, she didn't seem to mind going on a date with me as long as she got what she wanted. Whatever I would follow up on it was up for me though. More free time. What should I do? Wow. Okay, wait. I could meet up with Remy. I could meet up with Lorem. I could meet up with Bryce. On one hand, I wanna check on Bryce about the investigation. On the other hand, I wanna talk with Lorem about his little human interviewee thing. You know what? Let's go. I think I'm gonna go with Bryce right now. Once again, I found myself within the police department, which seemed oddly quiet for the time of day. It didn't take me long to spot Bryce in his office. Hey Redra, what's up? Nothing much, but you told me to contact you if I could remember anything that might help with the investigation. That's right, what do you have for me? I'm not sure if it's worth mentioning, but I have known Reza for a couple years, so I know some things about his personality. I see. Well, that's actually more helpful than you might think. Mannerism habits, all kinds of things could be useful to add to this profile and to get a better idea of him. You know, I'm just about done here for the day, but if you want to discuss it over a beer or something, I'll be more than happy. I don't even ringtone, just one I'll take. Let's go. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Here we are. Not too shabby, I have to admit. And just in time for happy hour. Do you come here often? Sometimes. You two, what can I bring you? Just the usual. One generic beer for the chief of police, sure thing. How about you, Raidra? Nothing yet, I have to... How do you know? Yeah, how do you know my name? How couldn't I? Everyone knows about you, so what will it be? Yeah, give me a beer. Noted, I'll be right back. It wasn't long before the waiter returned with a drinking bowl as wide as it was tall, filled to the brim with a foam-topped dark amber liquid, careful to set it down in front of Bryce, who didn't hesitate to take a big gulp. He brought one for me, provided in a glass that seemed more appropriate for my kind. There you go, just call me if you need anything. Of course. Falsche Stimme. One Royce. So, what is it you want to tell me about Reza? There are a few things. I mean, they're probably not much, but anything might help, right? That's right. Anything unusual about him, anything that defines his character or stands out about him could help us. How about you tell me what you know about him? Well, the earliest memory I have of him was when we both went to the same school. We only shared a few classes though and a couple of friends. Overall, I say he was an above average student. He didn't talk very often, but he always was very outspoken and never failed to speak to make his opinions known. He was the kind of person I'd fully expect to become a politician one day, or at least an activist of some sort. That's the impression I got from him. He spoke a lot, but you could also expect him to act on his words. Of course, his nature caused him to clash with others, sometimes even including the school staff, though his genuine enthusiasm also garnered praise from them. He was quite a character. After we all graduated, I didn't hear anything about him for a long time. Only some years later, after we found the portal, I was surprised to find out he was the human who would be sent to your world. He had volunteered. It wasn't until I was already here that I actually meet him again. However, brief our interactions were, but then I already told you everything about what happened prior to the eventful scuffle with Maverick. There's only one thing that stands out to me about those events. In the restaurant when he told me about the letter, he mentioned I would know how to read its secret message. I know he values the use of his own intellect, but when I received the letter later, he apparently fully expected me to remember a random chemistry class we had together years ago in order to see the message. I see. So you did not arrange this beforehand? No, not at all. I had no idea. That's quite peculiar. I know it's still wonder what you would have told me if Maverick hadn't interfered when we met at the portal. We do as well, and you can believe that. How was Maverick even allowed to intercept his letter and read it? He could have easily done so since he was in charge of Reza and everything, but he totally shouldn't have. I mean, we wouldn't do anything of the sort with you. Everything he has done in regard to Reza has been poor show of character. I suppose so. In any case, thanks for telling me all this. I'll never know when this kind of information could be useful. No problem. Just when I thought an awkward silence might set in, Bryce spotted the waiter and doesn't hesitate to speak up. Hey waiter, bring me another. Bring me another. I hadn't noticed, but while I was talking, Bryce had been busy sipping on his drink. The empty bowl before him was proof of his proficiency while I had barely touched my own drink. Here you go. Bryce was just about to start on his second when he suddenly spoke up. You know what? Why don't we have ourselves a drinking contest? Why wouldn't I would, but I don't think I can beat someone like you. How about a handicap then? I'll go easy on you. You're not letting this go, are you? Just having fun. Alright, let's do this. Bryce lowered his snout and gulped down a beer at an inhuman rate. This bowl drained rapidly and was empty in an instant. Fair's fair. Considering they don't even have cars, at least I won't have to worry about drinking and driving. The rules are simple. We both get around, then we wait a few moments until the next one, so the effects can kick in. Whoever gives up first loses. Let's burn some brain cells. And may whoever burns more win. This is the true game of kings, I'm telling you. Alright, let's do this. He made a show of looking me in the eye while he lowered his muzzle into the bowl before he gazingly guzzling his drink noisily. It was gone in seconds. Suddenly, this was going to be tough. My confidence faltered, but there was no turning back now. How did I think I could win in a drinking contest against a fucking dragon? Nevertheless, I grasped the drink, putting on the best show I could while I tried to recreate Bryce's feat. After the first sip, however, I realized it was very different from any other beer I had tried before. Yet I preserved the fruity, intense taste until the glass was empty. Probably wasn't as impressive as Price had been just moments earlier, but I couldn't afford to show any weakness. My plan was cut short though, as I set down the glass and an unusually strong aftertaste hit me, causing me to make a face. How do you like it? This is some really strong stuff. I told ya, but better know beforehand how much you can take, or it'll hit you harder later on. Wanna give up already? You know what? No, let's do this! As you wish. So, when's the next round starting? Soon enough? Do you feel it? Do you feel the buzz kicking in already? Don't lie to me. I can see it in your face, unless that's blushing and I see not the alcohol. Not the alcohol. That's what I thought. Anyway, how do you like it here so far? I mean, compared to whenever it is that you came from. I'm having a drinking contest with a dragon. We'll see how much you like it when you've drunk you under the table. Waiter, bring us another round. Coming right up. Here you go. Having yourself a little contest, are we? You know how it goes. That I do. Be careful, Raidra. He's a pro. Yo, you're looking like some OC motherfucker. Did I hear something about a contest? Maybe. Up to your old shenanigans, I see. No, I don't spoil it. Now don't spoil the fun. I don't go around telling people about what you're up to either. Point taken. Enjoy. Of course he wouldn't have challenged me if he wasn't confident he would win. Guess I'll just have to try my best. I went first last time, so it's your turn now. As I put the glass on my lips, I started swallowing the dark amber liquid. I was struck by how much more difficult this round was compared to the first. One thing that always puzzled me about seasoned drinkers was the sheer amount of liquid they could ingest without issue. Keeping it down, however, was a much different question. But this contest wasn't about keeping it down. Your turn. Did I see you struggling there for a second? I have had much more than this before. As for my turn, let me demonstrate. Once again, he consumed his drink through his swigs were noticeably slower than before. His resolve was also fading, though not as fast as mine had, as he clearly held the advantage. Was there any way I could still turn this around? There. Now, let me ask you a question. I know you wanted to tell me all the stuff about Razor, but was that the only reason you wanted to be with me? I'll be honest, it kinda was. Yeah. Guess you got more out of this than you asked for then. Waiter, next round! Coming. There you go. Thanks. How are you holding up? Just fine, thanks for asking. If you say so, good luck. Was it your turn or is it my turn? It's yours. Alright. By now it was obvious that Bryce was faltering, though he was still faring much better than I was. He even had to take a break in the middle of his beer, unable to down it in one go. Now, it's your turn. He was a lot heavier than me, and even though his balls held far more liquid than my glasses, how did I think I'd stand a chance against him? When I picked up my glass, I didn't have any feelings in my fingers anymore. I had to pause a few times, but in the end I made it, though I wasn't sure how much more I could take. So, what do we do now? Wait for you to throw up so I win? You never said this was a rule. Well, duh, of course it doesn't count if you spit out your drink halfway through. I suppose it still might if you lick it all up again. No! Ugh. That's not my kind of thing. Can I ask you a question? Go ahead. Who are you? Damn it, you don't just ask someone why they are brown. Don't you have, like, different colored people where you come from? Or do they all look like you? You seriously look like a chocolate cream cake. Delicious chocolate cream cake. Can I taste you? Waiter, next round. There you are. Blurrly the dragon looked at me, seemingly unable to focus. I could see he was hitting his limits, but so was I. Maybe if I just held out a little longer. Whose turn is it even? Wait a minute. He started, then I did, then he did, then I did. No, it's my turn. Good. At this point, I had difficult picking up my glass. I was about to give up, but I was sure if I held on just one more round, it'd be over. I could still win this. I had to wait a few moments after each sip in order to continue, but I did not give up until eventually the glass was empty. Suck on this. You move, Chief. For the first time, I could see something in his eyes other than his always present confidence. Was it disbelief or insecurity? I guess my feet caught him off guard as he seemingly genuinely impressed. If nothing else, this shows me that even his own conviction was cracking now. I could totally win this. Was? You're cute. I like you. I really do. But I sure as heck am not going to let you win. He was struggling. It became more and more obvious as he tried to swallow the liquid in his bowl bit by bit. He stopped at one point, panting heavily. I considered taking a cheap shot at him, but as he had refrained from doing so during my turn, I wasn't going to start now. There. Was I getting tired? I could hear Bryce's voice, but I could not make out the individual words anymore. I decided to take a rest my eyes just for a little bit. And there we go. Down on the floor. Hey, are you okay? You fell down and you look kinda messed up. Yeah, let's call quits. Good to hear that. Ready for another round or do you give up? Guess I'll just have another to secure my victory then. You know, it was fun watching you and all, but you both had enough for the evening. I think you better leave now, after you've come out from under the table, that is. Alright, I'll be going then. Wait a minute. What is it? Maybe you should go with him, just to make sure he gets home safely and doesn't do anything stupid, you know. It's kind of an unspoken rule here that whoever is his drinking buddy does so. When I looked over to him, I discovered that Bryce had passed out for the moment. This could prove difficult. I mean, it is only fair. It is really a dick move to leaving someone unconscious on the bar after you have a drinking contest with him. Come on, let's get you home. He is still unconscious. Water, that's the fairest method. This should do the trick. Is that you, Ryder? Where am I? Still in the bar. Come on, let's get you home. I find it kind of funny that we don't stumble around anymore. How has he a worse apartment than me? That's kind of sad. I awoke looking at an unfamiliar ceiling. For a moment I wondered where I was before the events of last night all came back to me. As I got up and looked around, I realized that I apparently slept on the floor. Where am I? This isn't my apartment? No. Guess I must have passed out after I got Bryce home. Hey, Bryce. I don't know what salviating is, and I don't think I want to know in that context that it might have consequences. Reagan moved and let out a groan before he opened his eyes. Ah, my head. Why are you even here? I guess I must have passed out after I escorted you home. Oh, right, after a little game. Do you remember who won? I don't even know, but you stood your ground and I respect that. You didn't do anything funny while I was out, did you? The dragon rose from the couch with a nice morning stretch, rubbed his eyes when it then held his head high as I let out a grunt and a big yawn. Alright, you know what? I'm sorry. The whole contest thing was a stupid idea and I shouldn't have suggested it, especially not to you. Well, it's not like you forced me to participate, so I suppose I share some of the blame. Let's just pretend this whole night never happened. Deal. Wait, what time is it? Damn, I should really get going or I'll be late for work. You know how to get back to your apartment from here, right? Think so. Guess you should be going as well, kiddo. Maybe you'll see some other time. Okay, good. Damn it. I wanted to actually save before chapter 2 and maybe make a break for now. Like, let's do this. Let's do this chapter for chapter. But So who dareth to write on me on the Discordal? Fate, that stupid idiot. Instead of writing in chat, you dip. Another day, another morning. I woke from dreams filled with fire and smoke. The sun shining through the window gave me a comforting feeling of familiarity, despite the portal in the distance reminding me of my purpose here. I looked towards the horizon, my view undisturbed by dividing walls. The light of the morning sun was painting the sky with golden hues, a view that had become a rarity back home. It awoke a feeling of freedom and openness that was almost scary to me. I got ready for the day. My thoughts strayed to the people I knew back home. I couldn't help but wonder how they were doing. But I had a great thing to worry about at the moment, like Reza, murders and generators. How much danger was I in really? Is there Let's do a quick save real quick. Hey Raidra, good to see you again. Likewise. I hope you're in the mood for some good old-fashioned police work. Not like I have anything better to do. Alright. We obtained a list of places Reza visited in the days before he vanished. We'll check those out, maybe we'll find a lead and you might help us understand his motivations, or give us some context to his actions. I can certainly try. I'm sure you'll do a great job. That's reassuring. Are you ready to go? Sure, let's go. There's a couple of places we can check out. Let's see where we should go first. While Bryce focuses on his list, I saw someone approach out from the corner of my eye. A closer look revealed that it was Sebastian, waving his arm in an attempt to get out of the attention as he ran towards us, his face grave. There you are, Chief. I was looking for you. What are you doing here? Don't tell me there's another dead person. Sorry, Chief. There is. Damn. Guess it's good to be one of those days. Yeah, looks like that. Someone else take care of that today, though. We got our other plans. We need to sign off on few things at least. I know. We go to the crime scene, sign a few forms, then we're out. Okay, conversations with Bryce and Sebastian will be difficult for me. When we arrived at the scene, I saw a poor victim next to one of the houses. The obligatory sheet that was wrapped over him provided a modicum of discretion, but it did not hide the crime that had occurred. Alright, give me the story. It's an interesting one, that's for sure. The wound matches those of the last victim, so a similar, if not identical, murder happened is likely. The victim? Maintenance person of this area, and the electricity is out. The person goes out, maintenance guy shows up, and it's killed before he can fix the problem. At least that's my theory. So the power for the whole block is still out. That is correct. We should get that fixed soon as possible. We don't need civilians showing up around here complaining about sitting in the dark. Good point. Bryce now wrinkled with distaste as he glanced over Sebastian's shoulder. Damn, not again. What is it? Ugh. What are you doing here, Maverick? Second victim, huh? This is an official investigation. You better not cross the police here. Shunned by my own colleagues. This is ridiculous. You know it's not. You know how it is. Rules are rules, and without rules, murders like this one would be allowed to happen and go unpunished. Ugh. Have your fun without me then. What do you think he wanted, Chief? That one's easy. To do his own investigation, just like he said he would. I shouldn't be surprised he showed up, but I guess we're lucky we arrived before he did. I agree. We better check out that power outage now. Of course. I think the door to the maintenance room is right around here. You got your flashlight, Seb? Alright, Chief. You you should go first then. I don't have my stuff here. Besides, putting on that head mount is such a hassle. I remember you complain about it every time it comes up. Yeah, that shall do the trick. You just stay behind me, Raider, alright? Okay. I hate stairs, especially those made for smaller dragons like you. Trust me, having it the other way around isn't good, too great either. I just keep out of that. That kinda reminds me of when we found an underground base or whatever it was. Remember, Chief? How could I not? It wasn't that long ago. Underground base? Yeah, the portal wasn't the only piece of ancient technology we found. There was also this whole lab near it. Seemed to have some high-tech stuff in there. At least that place didn't have as many stairs. Wait, so you not only found the portal, but a whole facility along with it? Yeah, but we're not sure how much of the two are actually related. We spent all time studying the portal and barely got anything with it. This stuff is just beyond what we know. Here we are. I just got an ominous feeling I don't want to get into. So, what exactly are we looking for? Whatever causes the power outage. If we don't find the cause, we should at least be able to get the backup running. Looks like the generator is... Wait! The generator is gone! Mystery solved. The sound of creaking metal penetrated the stillness of the room. I looked above towards the source of the noise as it grew louder, and in the next instant I was pushed sideways and fell to the ground, just barely avoiding the giant light fixture that fell from the ceiling and shattered the countless pieces alongside me. Rydra, are you alright? The next thing I saw was a hooded figure standing above me, barely visible against the darkness that permeated the room. The figure crouched down next to me, its mask hovering right in the front of my face. Merely a whisper reached my ear when it spoke. Be careful, Rydra. Then the figure dashed towards the stairs. Where are you going? That's not me. Don't move. He's going up the stairs. I'm on it. I didn't see the chair coming. I can't see a damn thing here. Here, Chief. I hate these stupid stairs. You're blocking the way. Just go around me. There is no room. You're as wide as the stairs are. I can't help it. Damn it. We'll never catch him now. By the time we found our way back up, the mysterious figure was nowhere to be found. We got a long search ahead of us, and with a head start like that, there might be no end to it. We have to take our chances as long as we still can. Except that the chances is growing smaller and smaller while we wait for the team to arrive. What even happened down there? Right, Ryder, tell us everything as much detail as you can. There wasn't much to it. I heard a noise, looked up, the light fixture came down, then someone pushed me. You mean Reza? I'm not sure of that. Like, oh, wait a minute. I have a sneeze in my nose. Oh, Gesundheit. On one hand, I want to say it can only be Reza because he was the only other human? Or he is the only other human because this person looked very humanoid. On the other hand, if there are other humans, it could be them. It's weird. I don't want to point it directly on Reza. There are a lot of thoughts in my head right now, but I don't think it was Reza. Didn't you see him? Whoever it was wearing a mask. It's bloody well can't be someone else. So let's not kid ourselves here. Why shouldn't he wear the whole getup? Why would he wear the whole getup though? That's a bad excuse when there are only 2 humans here. This whole thing doesn't make any sense. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Your earlier theory about what happened was pretty sound, Sebastian. Let's go with that and add the bit about the generator being stolen. So now the question is, who has a motive for stealing a generator? Reza. Right. Who else would need to steal a generator when those who lived here could either buy or even simply request one? Not to mention, Reza was the one who arranged the diplomatic trade for the generators in the first place. I can't deny the fact that your generators are pretty important to us, but resorting to murder? We all saw the human figure running away. Good question. Why would he stay here if he stole it? Why would he remain here if he was the one who stole it? The generator was already gone when we got here, and the person in question wasn't carrying it either. Perhaps this is a case where the criminal has returned to the crime scene. For this kind of crime, I'd say no, but who knows, maybe our rules just don't apply anymore. What do you mean? No offense, but ever since you 2 humans arrived, there have been a lot of strange things going on. This place used to be a quiet town. So you think it was real? It sounds like Maverick. Maybe this whole thing is just a use. I don't To be fair, we saw humans running away from the crime scene. Given what we know so far, there's only really one option. Maybe we should just focus on finding him and point fingers later. Agreed. The police team will be here any minute now. We don't have to get involved with the search, but that doesn't mean you can't help us. What do you want me to do? We still have the list of places where we're going to check out. Remember, we can't go now. The search takes priority. Of course, we'll still check out those places after we're done here, but if you go on your own, you can speed up the process. You could even find any lead for us, who knows. Sure thing. You know what? Let's help. Great. Here's the list. Considering your status, you shouldn't have any problems in these places, but if anything happens, call me and I check up on you later. Wait a minute, you mean I'm going all by myself? All of us are going to be busy with the search, and we can't really afford to spare someone right now. You'll be fine. Aren't you worried I'll do something fishy? I mean, isn't that why Risa is and I were assigned police escorts in the first place? That policy was mostly Maverick's fault, and he's out of the picture. With my authority as chief, I say you can go alone. I already know where you're going, and besides, I trust you. If you were in cahoots with Risa, you would have run off with him when you had a chance. Good point. I see the team approaching. Guess we should get going. Alright, see you later then. Good luck. It was a relief to leave the crime scene, considering all that happened. When I reached into my pocket to take a look at the list, however, I found something unexpected. It was a small piece of paper with the word TOTS written on it. How did I get there? Oh, how did it get there? My earlier encounter with the masked person was the only time today someone was close enough to smuggle something into my pocket. I figured if someone like Bryce tried to do something like that, I definitely would have noticed. As for Tatsu, the only related thing I could think of was Tatsu Park, which had to come across when I went to the police station the other day. Even if that park was the place the mysterious paper referred to, I didn't know if it was actually a good idea to visit. The masked person may have saved me from a falling light fixture, but if it was Risa, it would mean following someone who was also the prime suspect of 2 murders. I also had to consider the list of places Risa had been to. Local grocery store, the production facility we had visited, and a library were the 3 places closest to here. It certainly was going to be a busy day, and I know I wouldn't have the time to visit all of them. What should I do? Okay, sounds stupid. Sounds kind of stupid, but I want to go to Tatsu Park. I mean, nobody is going to stop me. I don't have to explain myself to anyone, at least in the story. And it might be a lead that's... Yeah, it might be a good lead. Tatsu Park, here I am. I don't know what I'm even looking for, though. Let's look at the map. The park is bigger than I thought. I could go north towards Tatsu Avenue, which apparently is a nice spot to look at the landscape, or south to the political district, where I should go. Where should I go? Let's go into the avenue. Open the hatch. On the metal covering of the hatch, there were 2 buttons, which are suited to the left and the right of the central circular lever. The arrow on the lever is pointing up. No, it's not pointing right. Push the 6. That was easy. I looked down to see the maintenance tunnel of the underground drain system. A pale object starkly contrasted against the pitch black background. It's a cloth with suspicious red markings all over it. I acquired a bloody bandage. I guess that's all to be found down here. I don't recognize the species of tree. Lol. Rest on the bench. Finally a place to sit down. The view of the scenery is perfect. You appreciate the landscape for... That was nice. I was just about to get up when I noticed someone sitting next to me. Whoa, didn't see you there. I thought you were a statue or something. Dramavian. Hello? Well, maybe it is a statue, or I just turned invisible. I hope it's not the latter. This park is dedicated to our creator, to whom we owe our sentience and existence. As it is our duty to remember this place, honors them every day with its beauty and grants the place a place of recreation and contemplation to us all. Yeah, this totally wouldn't look strange or suspicious. Here we go. I found some dirt. There's nothing to be anything else here. I found a... Pavilion. You never know what you'll find around a pavilion. Let's do this. Found something. It's a round, smooth orb about the size of a bowling ball. Not sure what it is, but I'll take it with me just in case. Mysterious orb. Let's go to the I think we only have the political district left. Just as I entered the southern part of the park, I found myself tumbling to the ground when someone suddenly bumped into me. Ouch! Sorry about that. Are you alright? Besides being a little dirtier than before, I think so. I should really look where I'm going. Sometimes I just get lost in my thoughts. Hey, I think you dropped this. Oh, thank you. Ghost stories, huh? Yep. Oh, I should probably go before the bookstore closes. Bye. He looked nice. There's someone sitting on the benches. Approach the dragon. Oh, that's a big one. I should stop saying that. What a most pleasant surprise to be meeting you here, Raidra. Do you know who I am? I'm afraid I don't. Then let me fill the gap in your knowledge. My name is Emra, and I'm the Minister of Culture and Arts. I see. And that brings what brings you here today, Raidra? I'm not quite sure of that myself. Ah, the park does have an appeal of nature that naturally draws people in. I would know since I'm partly responsible for creating it. Have you seen the north side yet? If not, you totally should. It's just so pretty at this time of year. You created this park? Well, some of it. Do you see the building behind me? That's where I work. Do you want to know a secret? The park was built here so I could enjoy going outside on my breaks. Like right now, for example. Can I ask you a question? You can ask for sure, but whether I can answer or not is another question. What would you like to know? Can you tell me more about Tatsu Park? Well, I'm not sure there's that much to say about it. It just opened recently. I think the initial request was for more open spaces, like a dedicated place for people to gather and such. If you read the plaque, you would know that the park was dedicated to a so-called creator. I say creator like that because I think that word is a bit of a misnomer, but I suppose people still use it regardless. What do you think about us visiting this world? You and Reza? Well, I think it's about the most exciting thing that has happened here in the last few years. It certainly has been a nice distraction from the other boring things I have to do at work. How so? Arranging your arrival was partly my responsibility, in fact. I would have been at the portal to welcome you and myself if something didn't come up at the last second. Can you tell me more about your job? I could, but I think overall it's a very boring affair. It involves a lot of reading and talking and approving of or rejecting forms and projects. It has its perks, but in some ways it'd certainly be happier when my term is over. If you have been minister once, that's something people will remember you for. Even if those times are long past, no one can ever take that away from you again. You mentioned your term ending. How does that work here? We, the ministers, serve our term, and then someone else takes our place. Only one minister changes at a time, though. Technically speaking, any person can become a minister, though there are certain standards and requirements that must be met in order to apply for office. I don't want to bore you with the details, as that too would be a long and tedious affair. I suppose I should be getting back to work anyway. Well, thank you for this most pleasant conversation, Raidra. You know, if you wanted to continue talking at a later time, you should have no difficulty contacting me. I'll keep that in mind. So that was a fruitless endeavor. I don't think I'll find anything here. I got some more time left. What should I do? Kann ich jetzt? Okay, let's do this like that. Let's make a quick save. Okay, good. There it is. Neutral, status good, status neutral, status good, status neutral. Oh, okay. So this is how it works. And I have this mysterious orb down here. Okay, I think going deep into chapter 1 and also into the beginning of chapter 2 is a good start. I will take a break for today. I don't know when I will stream again. I will try to do it more often though. But I think we continue our investigation of Frieza in a later time. So that's it for today. Do you want to already save? Yeah, let's do it just for safeties. And yeah, I think that's it for today, and we will see each other